Dear learners, I welcome you all to this first module of the MOOC on Introduction to Distance and Digital Education. As a beginner in this course, first you must learn about the basic concept of distance education, the need and relevance of distance education in particular and education in general, and how distance education has emerged in the present situation. Let us discuss this concept one by one. The main objectives of this module are to explain the meaning and significance of education in general and distance education in particular, to identify the need and relevance of distance education for human resource development. Dear learners, as a beginner of this course, before understanding the concept of distance education in detail, you must know what education means and why is it important in the present century. In the present knowledge-based society, education is the only way to supply the skilled manpower and generate the human capital for the development of a nation. Education helps human beings by further developing their potentialities and capabilities. Therefore, education is considered the bedrock of all socio-economic developments of a country. However, in a country like India, each individual has a basic right to get education irrespective of all forms of discrimination. However, despite such attempts, there is a high rate of dropout in all stages of education. Besides the prevalence of various disparities like rural-urban disparity, occupational disparity, gender disparity, interstate disparity, and so on. Degree inflation is another big issue by which a large number of graduates passing out of the Indian universities and institutions of higher learning do not match the requirements of the employability, and as a result of which such graduates swell the number of unemployed and underemployed, causing brain drain from our country. Therefore, we need such an educational program that can motivate the learners to upgrade their skills through need-based education so that they can develop themselves as a human power in a society. Besides, at the present situation, we need sustainable education through which the long-term benefits can be ensured to the people for living a decent life. Therefore, we need some mechanism to justify the ways for living a quality life that will transform the society into positive direction. Besides, in a democratic country like India, democratization of education should make people empowered in all aspects of life. In the 21st century, people have started to broadly discuss education which should be skill-oriented and which might develop and strengthen the capabilities of the people so that they become productive citizens in future. In fact, we need of the 21st century is to provide quality education, which also implies providing equality opportunity to all so that each individual can achieve equity, social justice, and empowerment. Therefore, we need to explore the various avenues of education that can suit the present needs and demand of the people in order to cope up with the current changing environment with the help of the latest learning environment. In this regard, apart from the conventional mode of learning, open and distance learning plays the crucial role for providing the need-based education to the people according to their needs and requirements at the people's own pace and place. Even due to the explosion of technology in the educational arena, the processes of educational transitions are fast changing, where the traditional talk and talk classroom is gradually becoming redundant and obsolete among the learners at the modern techno-based world. Therefore, an attempt shall be to discuss the prevailing disparities in the field of higher education in a country like India and how ODL has fulfilled the mission of providing quality and excellence in education to all in equal manner on the basis of accessibility and equity. If we look at the importance of education in general and ODL in particular, it could be realized Enlightenment in human beings can be realized only when they are educated, their capabilities are strengthened in order to bring up knowledge population of a country. However, providing opportunities of education also means that a country is able to protect the people from any discrimination, provide the required opportunities to all concerned, and make them empowered in every aspect of life. Therefore, after the economic liberalization mostly in 1990s in India, various laws, policies and actions under the means of social as well as human security have been implemented from time to time for ensuring welfare of the people residing in this country. Again, India having the world's largest population as well as the world's largest education system, where the basic motto is to bring democratization of education to all, has enabled a knowledge population. In the 7th century BC, Guangzhang, the Taoist reformer, rightly stated, if your plan is for 1 year, plant rice. If your plan is for 10 years, plant trees. If your plan is for 100 years, educate children. So, education is the only way that produces human capital and empowers the people to contribute to the nation building process. Education is also the way to sensitize the people regarding maintaining ecological, social and political balance against economic growth in the society. It should also be mentioned that on 25th September 2015, the heads of the states, government and high representative in their meeting at United Nations headquarters in New York adopted the document titled like Transforming Our World, the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. The idea was to adopt a new set of goals, sustainable development goals, which will transform the world in the next 15 years. There are a total 17 goals to be achieved by 2030 for sustainable development. With regard to education, there is a specific goal, that is SDG Goal 4, where there is a target to achieve the inclusive and equitable quality education and promote lifelong learning opportunities for all. One of the objectives of the goal is to focus on the acquisition of foundational and higher order skills, greater and more equitable access to technical and vocational education, training and higher education, training throughout life, the acquisition of the knowledge, skills and values needed to be functional so that it would contribute to society. In fact, open learning could be the pertinent to reach the goal by providing lifelong learning opportunities for all, which comprises all learning activities undertaken throughout life with the aim of improving knowledge, skills and competencies within personal, civic, social and employment-related perspective. Apart from this, there is an urgent need to develop the human resources because India has a rich demographic dividend as more than 54% of the population is below the age of 25 and 66% people under the age of 35. It means that the young population of India is considered an asset for the entire country. If proper skill-based education could be given to this population, it could contribute significantly to enhancing the positive social transformation through social and economic mobility and creating knowledge-enabled population of the country. Therefore, it is a need of the hour to see how the higher education institutions, particularly the open learning institutions, could play their role for mobilizing the capacity of the people in order to bring the growth and development of a society or a nation. So friends, now we should know the actual meaning of distance education and how this learning system brings transformation in the present day education system. The transition of distance education, which was earlier known as correspondence education, will be discussed in the second module in detail. Just have a brief look here does what distance education is meant for. Distance education means a mode of learning through which education can be accessed by the people irrespective of geographical barriers, physical existence of teachers, space, time, age, etc. In a knowledge-based society, open and distance learning is the most demanding medium of education for the people. The 11 5-year plan of the Government of India had made a target to covering around 40% of the total number of students under the open and distance learning system. Today, for its flexibility, this system is considered indispensable as far as education is concerned, that is getting education anytime, anywhere, and for anyone. The basic objective behind this system is to make democratization of education possible in India. Better access, lower cost, greater flexibility, high quality are some of the objectives of open and distance learning. In the words of Pareto in 1981, distance education is an educational process in which a significant proportion of the teaching is conducted by someone removed in space or time from the learner. According to Osho in 1981, distance education is a system based on the selective use of instructional media, both traditional and innovative, that promotes the self-teaching learning process to achieve educational objectives with a potentially greater geographic coverage than the traditional face-to-face system of education. From the above definition, it is clear that distance education means it is a separation of teachers and learners. However, there is a need of institutional accreditation, use of mixed media courseware. There is a two-way communication through face-to-face counseling or virtual sessions, possibly of face-to-face meetings, use of industrialized processes. The ODL system is the only corridor through which those sections of population who were once deprived from purview of higher education in conventional system for one reason or other can pursue lifelong learning in a flexible and cost-effective mode. These sections of population include those who drop out from school and colleges on economic compulsions and are now engaging themselves in trade and business, etc. Those women who got married early and discontinued their education in school and colleges. Those who work in offices and industries without completing their degrees, diplomas required for their professions. Those persons, including housewives, who simply could not carry on their studies in the conventional system on time and now they are desirous to pursue education. Those who want to get further education for their better employability in future. And besides, the ODL system enabled the in-service persons or professionals who enhance their professional qualifications and training while on the job. Even the open and distance learning is very crucial as it could play a pivotal role not only in providing educational opportunities to the deprived sections, but also in providing a greater scope for skilling, reskilling, and upskilling the people in their chosen field in a more self-paced and flexible way. So, dear friends, please try to throw light on the relevance of ODL in 21st century. The basic purpose of an ODL institution is to provide instruction to the learners at their doorstep through various media and technology that was defined by UNESCO in 2002. Whereas the basic motto of distance education is to establish equity in education system through the various modes of education, both the correspondence and online learning. Even this system provides greater opportunity to those learners who are denied to access to traditional institutions due to various factors like poor economic condition, illiteracy of parents, work outside for income, and those who require upgrading their knowledge and lifelong education. This mode is also called as independent learning, flexible learning, as well as self-learning. It can help to empower the learners by taking charge of their own learning, where learners have greater control and ownership in their learning at a minimum cost. In fact, this system promotes the capacity of the learners to organize and structure their own learning, for whom learners will be able to develop the key skills like self-motivation, self-discipline, and self-management that are now required in so many work contexts. Therefore, this system of learning can be called fed by own, not fed by others. So, dear friends, Till now, we have understood the basic meaning and relevance of education in general and distance education in particular. Now, if we look at how education as a whole is related to human resource development, then we have to define the basic meaning of human development as defined by Human Development Report in 1990s. Human development in the true sense can be ascertained, which would also lead to an equitable living in a developmental perspective. However, human development can be achieved through providing access to education to all in equal manner, adopting the mechanism of equity and justice, expansion of educational avenues, and quality and sustainable education, and so on. Open and distance learning plays a crucial role for promoting the human resources to a great extent compared to conventional system because remarkable use of information and communication technologies. Open education widens the scope of learning opportunities in terms of access and choices facilitated by the emerging theme of bring your own device. The modern interventions like open educational resources and MOOCs have provided the platform for opening up the minds of the people hungry of knowledge. Again, being well equipped with digital skills is the prerequisite for getting jobs and livelihood in the digital economy. The utilization of online learning in general as well as distance and open learning in particular has made learning truly global. Along with this, the whole pedagogy of education is to make people functionally literate or digitally skilled. The kind of education system helps the learners to possess the relevant digital skills that help to promote inclusive and equitable education and lifelong learning opportunity for all. In this context, we can cite a book written by Manjulika Srivastava and V. Venugopal Reddy in 1996, that is Distance Education in India, a model for developing countries, where they stated that education has been changing rapidly as today's changing world. The development of the human capital is the main factor in the overall development of countries. Distance education has proved to be the right alternative to the conventional system as it is cost effective and has the potential to reach a large segments of the population. Now it has become an important component of higher and adult education. Besides, in this book, the emerging new technologies related to distance education system, the emergent collaborative network in today's context, and areas and issues relating to the openness, delivery system, and funding of distance education system have been critically examined. To eliminate the existing biases and to improve the quality of distance education, the authors have suggested the incorporation of the market philosophy and orientation. Asha Kanwar and John Daniel in 2020 also stated in their papers From Response to Resilience, Learning for Sustainable Development as COVID-19 and similar crises in future may be the cause for further vulnerable situation. Therefore, it is imperative to provide the scope of ODL learning opportunity to all. In this context, the curricular variety and reach of open universities and open schools have been greatly enhanced by the generating freely available own educational resources. That is one of the strongest way for harnessing the education system for social justice. In terms of human development resources, by providing the opportunity to access equity, quality, and effectiveness of the ODL system to all, it seems that ODL can accommodate large numbers of learners at low unit cost. Open schools and open universities reach millions of learners without the constraints of place and time. In open institutions, cost per student can vary from 1/3 to 1/2 of those of classroom instruction, with comparable results. In fact, there is no significant difference of learning outcomes between the ODL and traditional classroom instruction. Persons with disabilities often prefer ODL because it is flexible, affordable, and offers the anonymity of studying at home. In fact, for ensuring quality human resources into productive form, it is the online or blended learning system that could make justice prevail in the long run. The father of learning is undoubtedly in blended pedagogy comprising face-to-face, distance, continuing, digital, and online modes of delivery. One must not forget that quality online education not only needs technology but a robust curriculum and pedagogy to facilitate independent learning. However, online education needs not to be used as an easy tool merely to increase the GER, that is the gross enrollment ratio only. Such steps may be detrimental unless the quality, relevance, skills, and employability issues are sufficiently addressed. We should make effort to improve the quality of school education as well as access and relevance to how education to contribute towards national development and improve international competitiveness. We may need to decrease and give social recognition or prestige to skill and vocational training. A renewed strategy of bridging blue and white collared education may help enhance the employment opportunities in India and abroad. This will probably be a great tribute to the vision of a rapidly emerging young and aspiring new India. So now we come to the end of the first module. In the first module, we have discussed the importance of education and particularly the distance education, its relevance, and how distance education is related to human resource development, and how does the distance education learning promote the lifelong learning opportunities in detail. In the next module, we shall discuss how distance education has emerged as well as its growth in the present day context. So see you again. Thank you.